Let me see if I can recount my story of how this last weekend went. So, I've told my students this whole story, and I was like, man, I feel like this was a whole doggone stand-up. Shaking my dreads. But might as well share with it. Why not? Share with it. Chitty chitty bang bang. So Sunday, I packed myself and got ready to go to the doggone airport. Of course, it was raining outside. Now, here was 60 degrees, 70 degrees, and then going to Zion, Illinois, to the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, it was like 30 degrees. So it was a whole 30-degree difference. Who cares? I know how to dress. I'm from D.C. We wear ski pants and ski suits, daggone it, all day, every day. So I put my ski pants and ski suits on, and I had my belt buckle because I wanted to make sure I didn't have too much metal on me, okay? So I get to the airport and stuff. I park my car, like, I wish I could say economy, but daggone it, the closest one. So then I walked my butt over there to the doggone airport. And then when I got to the security checkpoint, I was like, let me take this belt off. I'm going to take this mess off because I don't want to set no alarms off daggone because I got metal on and stuff. And then when I got through the checkpoint or whatever, I get through the scanner. They're like, okay, sir, put your arms up. I said, yes, I will. And I'm going to put my hair up too. The reason I had to put my hair up, because every time I go through the doggone checkpoint, somehow this thing right here always sets the alarm off. So I said, daggone, I'm going to put it up on top of my head. I know it look weird. So I put that on top of my head. I put my arms up, and I went through the machine, all that. And I was like, all right, bet. They're like, excuse me, we got to pat your back. I said, pat my back? Okay, all right. They're like, you set off something right here. I was like, cool. And then they said, we're going to have to pat your legs too. I'm like, dang it, I'm about to get violated. And I said, man, whatever. I'm going to get it on this plane. So they did all that. I got all my stuff. Of course, it's just me in a little small book bag. And then I went and sat down, and I was waiting for the flight to be put on. There was a little boy that came through with his mama, and he was like, oh, no, mama, oh, no. Of course, he had cowboy boots on. You know what color he was. Mama, no. And she's like, come on, stop. Don't act like that. Don't be doing like that. Look here, little boy. So she sat down, he sat down, and we was minding our business. Finally, the time came on to get on the plane. I was like, oh, man, we got to do social distancing out. Now, I was already apprehensive about going on the doggone airplane because I ain't trying to catch no doggone COVID. You know why? Because, you know what I'm saying? You in an enclosed space. So we get on the airplane and stuff, and I'm going to my seat. It's 12A, okay, 12A, daggone it. So I start walking. I'm going into I'm going into the flight. I said, oh, dang, this thing is packed. Ain't no space in between nobody. Ain't no social distancing going on up in here. I get to my line, my row, 12A. Who's sitting over there? That little boy. The one I was like, oh, no, stop. I was like, oh, crap. I was like, excuse me, can I get to my seat over there? He's like, no. His mother's like, no, stop, son. Let the man go through. Of course, they were sitting on opposite aisles of each other. Let the man go through. So I said, I'm going to just jump over there and get on my seat. And the mother's like, do you want to switch? I was like, no, I don't want to switch. I'm good. I'm right here. So I sat down, and then the little boy's still like, no. Oh, why then? You little Donald Trump supporter. Keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So I started watching me Jumpmanchin on my phone. So, of course, his mother finally said, okay, baby, I'll come sit next to you. So she comes, and she sits right between me and her son. No. She's like, okay, calm down. He must have been like 6 or 7 years old. So another lady comes in here. She's like, excuse me, ma'am, you sitting in my seat. It was an Asian lady. So the lady said, oh, no, ma'am, that's okay. If you don't mind, would you want to trade with me over there? I got the aisle seat. That lady looked at her like, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Like she gave her a gift. I said, man, you better go ahead. Jumanji. Here I'm watching Jumanji. So, the flight was like 1 hour and 50 minutes long. We got to our doggone destination. And then everybody's like, oh, the flight people was like, okay, people, we about to get on. So deplane all that stuff, have the mama get up. She gets her book bag and stuff. The little boy finally, he gets out of his chair. He's like, oh. He's like, excuse me, sir. Talking to me. Your seat is not unbuckled yet. We just landed. Oh, that little boy talking to me. What? He just said something to me? So I said, oh, the little joker talking to me. He was like, yeah, I'm going to a house here. I miss my old house. I'm like, well, what happened to your old house? Well, the old house All my stuff is in the moving truck, and we're going to the news house. I said, oh, he moving for real. I was like, well, you're going to make some new memories at this new house like you did at the old house. He's like, mm-hmm. And then he and his mother proceeded to keep going on the side. I was like, oh, I guess the little boy wasn't racist at all. I thought he was a Donald Trump supporter. He was just being a 7-year-old who was afraid because he didn't know who this new person was. So, of course, we proceeded to get off the airplane. What? Because we had to get off. I was like, social distance, ain't no such thing. We all here stuck and panicking. I mean, we packed things, shaking my dress. When I got out the doggone airport and then headed to the, luggage area. Of course, I only had a book bag. So I was waiting for what? My hospital, the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. You know what they sent me? A limousine. What do they always send their patients? A limousine to come pick them up from the hospital. So I was coming from O'Hare Airport. I was going to Zion, Illinois. Of course, it's in Zion, Illinois, but yet they call it the Chicago Cancer Treatment Centers of America. It's not in Chicago. It's in Zion, Illinois. It's 45 minutes away, but hey, who cares? I think it's almost like when they say, I'm from PG. What's that? I'm from Washington, D.C. Oh, Washington, D.C. Dang it. We're from PG. We rich, man. We got black rich people. Do you understand? In the whole country, we rich. But they don't understand that. So, and of course, my little driver got me, and it was all dope. We rode for 45 minutes straight. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling in the limo, enjoying the breeze and all that stuff. Got to the hotel, which is owned by the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. It's affordable. It's very affordable, you know. The hospital cafeteria was closed for that day, so I went across the street and got me some Chicago pizza. It was dope as a mug. It was a deep dish pizza. I tore that mess up, and I even had it for breakfast the next day. Now, because I'm allergic to contrast, so sometimes it helps to take some Benadryl, so it can help to counteract that. So I took some Benadryl, and then I got high off the doggone Benadryl. I was like, ooh, the room is dizzy. I feel like a little, I said, now I understand why Michael Jackson used to need Dr. What's-His-Face so you go to sleep. Because daggone it, when you go down, when you go under, you go feel good. So, of course, you know what I'm saying, I do the Benadryl, doze off, and then woke up. And I had to go get my doggone, CT scans, of course. That drew the blood and stuff in the morning. I looked at a needle. I'm so used to the needle nowadays. I mean, like, when I take the needle, I take it like a G, okay? Before, I used to be afraid of doggone needles. But after I got the doggone cancer, every day I used to go get my blood work. Daggone, I got so used to that needle, now I just look at him and be like, go ahead, I got this Joker slam. And they took the doggone blood off or whatever. I went to the cafeteria in the hospital. The food is so delicious, man. It's like organic. I mean, that food is like gluten-free. I'm talking about whatever you want, you get. So they give you this little tickets or whatever. It's $7 for each one. So you can eat breakfast, $7. Lunch, $7. Dinner, $7. And I was just tearing food up. I was like, man, I don't got enough time. I got to eat all this food up. It's so delicious. Man, I'm going to take some on the plane. So I'm gonna stack up stuff like some little snacks I can eat on the plane and stuff. So I stacked all that up and whatever, and then I went to go do my CT scan. So of course, like a G, they put the doggone IV, needle inside my arm and stuff, and then they put me underneath the doggone CT scan machine. It rotates around you or whatever, whatever, and then they shoot the contrast in your body, and it cools you down. You can just feel it. Now for me, sometimes I feel like I want to spit, I want to throw up and stuff, right? So they put you, they lay you down, and then this machine goes from like up here all the way down to like, your area or whatever, and it's just spinning, and they be like, breathe in, breathe out. I'm like, oh dang. So they did that. It was done with, and me and the guy that helped me with my CT scan, we chopped it up. He left like it was nothing, and I was like, woo, that's what I'm talking about. I went back to the cafeteria, got me some more food. I was like, daggone it, I got a lot of these tickets, man. I only got this many days. So I went in there, got me some more food, went back to my hotel, watched me some doggone TV, and who was on the doggone TV? Freaking Donald Trump having his little rally. And of course, as I proceeded to watch this doggone Bam on Fox News doing his rally, and I was like, dang, there's no substance, man. He feel like he's on The Apprentice in real life. Like, what the? So I was like, man, whatever. So I finally turned off the ESPN Sports. I was doing my grades on my computer, for my work and all that stuff. And then when I was finally done, I was like, dang, tomorrow I got to wake up, holler at the doctor or whatever. So I'm praying that everything's going to be, on the up and up. And I went to sleep, woke up the next day, and went to go see my doctor and stuff, my new doctor for the third time or whatever. I have had 3 oncologists. Within this year alone, I had 2. So I was like, it's cool. So I went to go see Doc and stuff. It was like 7:30 early in the morning. And he was like, hey, hey, man, I have some good news, man. I got some good news. Your numbers look great. You look awesome. And you passed the 5-year mark, you know what I'm saying? So that means that you don't have to come here anymore. You're done with us. You can get checked out by, your doctor over there back home in Maryland. I was like, oh, I thought to myself, oh, man, that's what's up. That's dope, doc. Thanks. So in that moment, it hit me that I ain't going to be coming back. I was like, dang, this is my last tour with these guys. That means no more limo rides, no more nice hotel stays, no more food, no more limo rides back, an airplane ride. Do you know who paid for all that stuff? They did, through my insurance. But it was like so dirt cheap. I was like, dang. I mean, the only thing I paid for was a hotel, but that's not the point. Like, anytime I needed to fly to the cancer treatment center, I just tell them what I needed, and they booked a flight for me. I went there. They picked me up in a limo, and then they take me to the hospital, and then they did what they had to do, and I took myself back home, and all I did was pay a copay. What? No more? You guys were the greatest. I'm gonna miss all of y'all, man. But it was good. It was good. So, I took the last ride, and as I sat there in that limousine picking me up at the end to take me back to the airport, I thought of all the good times I had at the CTCA, all the awesome doctors I had. I mean, I have nothing negative to talk about those cats. It was a pleasure, and they treated me good. And the cancer, they didn't say that they're going to get rid of it, but they said they're going to do the best they can, and daggone it, they went above and beyond, and I'm grateful for that. So I flew back here home and stuff, and as I was getting back close to home, I said, dang it, I got to quarantine, because just in case I'll go. Oh, actually, when I got on the airplane coming back this way, unlike the last flight, I actually got my own seat, my own row. I wasn't sharing with nobody. It was like a whole row by myself. I said, dang, y'all really practicing this quarantine stuff on Wednesday, huh? I mean, on Tuesday. Shaking my weed. Why did you do this on Sunday? What? And so I flew back home, and then, of course, I came back home, and I had to figure out how to sneak down here so I could be in here before my baby girl came home. So needless to say, man, I'm quarantining, and it's even tougher here too, because I'm down here in the dungeon. I wake up every morning, I go in the restroom, brush my teeth and all that stuff, wash my face, come down here on my station, teach my classes all day. What's up, y'all? But at the same time, baby girl is going to see grandma and grandpa, so luckily for me, because she's going to see grandma and grandpa during the day, I can be loud as I want. But then as soon as she comes back home, until she goes back. So now today's Friday night, going into the weekend, so it's going to be tough. She's not going to be going to grandma and grandpa's this time. So how do I hide from a baby girl? We get to FaceTime each other, which is beautiful. I should FaceTime or Duolingo, whatever it is, with each other and stuff. So I get to see her for 3 seconds or whatever. And so we'll see. Right now, I ain't got no symptoms. I ain't feeling nothing. So hopefully it'll be a short quarantine so I can see my family, because I miss them. I mean, with the fellas, they know I'm here, but they got technology. They don't, hey, Dad, love you. Even tonight, trying to FaceTime them. They came on for 3 seconds, but baby girl was like, oh my God, it's Daddy. I don't know, we ain't seen each other in a minute. And I miss my wife too. We be talking through the window and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Hey, boo, I see you through the window. I miss her. I mean, we're in the same building, but, yeah. So, looking forward to seeing my whole family again, So, anyways, thanks for hanging out with me. Story time. I just had to share that one. Chitty, chitty, bang, 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 boogie. What?